These dictators, these petty dictators say that to stop climate change, it's about ending capitalism. They are explicit, and the president, by attending Copenhagen, gives credibility and credence to these folks, and he should not go.
And CNN panics and cuts away. They showed the entirety of the other victory speeches, and boy, they cut away right there. Oh my gosh, don't talk about that. But here's the deal. It's very simple. The ultra-rich have got their money. They control the issuance of currency and credit. They had their little rope ladder down to the cloud 9 of wealth and power. They're up there in Valhalla. They're up there, you know, enjoying themselves, and they've just pulled the rope ladder up, just like this is Donkey Kong, where we don't get to climb, you understand? And so they're pulling the ladder up, taking it away from us. That's what the carbon taxes are. That's what all this control is. They brag. It's a post-industrial world for you and your family. How did NAFTA and GATT turn out for you? How'd all these wars turn out for you? I told you 8.5 years ago the Patriot Act was written for the American people. Now it's admitted it's for you. You're the enemy, regardless of what color you are. And it's so asinine. You know, Dr. Rand Paul is against abortion. Do you hear the mainline black leaders funded out there calling for an end to abortion? Boy, if I was black, I sure would be. I mean, if you've got any racial identity. But see, if you don't have any identity as a human being or for your culture, because the media tells you that's bad, so what if 51 to 52% of black people since 1973 were never born? That's right. More than half the black people that were going to be born in this country, they don't exist. They're deader than a hammer. And guess what? Rand Paul doesn't want to kill you. But you know who the real racists are? They're the Margaret Sanger liberals that curl up around you like a snake. Or like Rumpelstiltskin in the new Shrek movie. Took my kids to that. Just reminded me of politicians. In fact, try to YouTube Rumpelstiltskin's Shrek trailer. I want to just, when we come back, show a short clip of how he talks real sweet. Hi, I want to help you. And that's Margaret Sanger and the Rockefeller documents I've sent off to universities. I've got the actual copies of their letters. How do we kill these subhuman weeds? I just want to get rid of them as soon as I can. This is in the 20s. We'll pose as liberals. That's how we'll get them so they'll trust us, and we'll hire blacks as our fronts, and we're going to kill them. Oh, it's going to be so good. It's so liberal. Meanwhile, you got some, doctor going, we shouldn't abort all the babies. Shut up, racist! The truth is, they're like, if people get in like this guy, we won't be able to kill the black people. We're only able to kill half of them right now. Oh, we want to kill more of them. What are we going to do if these patriot Christian conservatives get in? They're going to stop murdering all the babies. You ought to go read Margaret Sanger. These subhuman weeds, how do we exterminate them? Well, John D. Rockefeller, I had a good meeting with him last week. He says we'll pose as liberals, and we'll have a total movement where we lead the blacks. That way they trust us so we can exterminate them. Exterminate you. Murder you, because it's so liberal. Murder you. But meanwhile, Rand Paul says you can have a private club. Criticizing Rand Paul because he believes people should be able to have private clubs where they can set the rules of who gets in. Is the next step saying you can't marry who you want? I guess that is the next step from government. But the way they hype this, the way they push it, it shows you how threatened they are. But don't worry. Every other establishment candidate is losing in every race. But they're really afraid of him because he stood up and said, I'm going to be a leader to go up against the takeover of America and the world government and the carbon tax, as he said on this show. And it's all over the news that he's come on this show and said he's against the one world government. He'll actually talk about it when he sees a world leader on television calling for global government. He'll come out and say that's wrong, losing our sovereignty. He won't ignore the facts. And that's why they're going after Rand Paul. So donate to him, support him. Tell everybody, in Kentucky it's brainwashing and lies. But the polls show it's only backfired on him. All right, let's go to your calls. I know there's many, many callers holding here. Try to give each caller about 1 minute. Sean, David, Truth Patriot, the list goes on and on. 1 minute comment or question. Sean, you're on the air. Thanks for holding from Chicago.
Alex, I'm going to be brief. First of all, when it comes to broadcasting, you are about the best. I was a huge Limbaugh fan. I've listened to a lot of guys broadcasting, but if you're self-taught, you're brilliant, and you're about the best. My point I'm going to make about Rand Paul and the media backfire on him, Rand Paul has gone through absolutely nothing to Mel Gibson. He did not go through The Passion of the Christ. If you remember that movie?
Yes.
Everybody demonized it. It was the biggest opening day for a foreign movie film. Christians came out, people came out, and they supported Mel Gibson. I think that's going to happen with Rand Paul. I think the media can say what they want about him, just like they did with Mel Gibson back then, and I think that it's going to be a bloodbath for the Democratic opponent. And I'm going to let you go, but thank you for waking me up. And on 355, about a year ago, somebody wrote Infowars.com and spray paint on a bypass. Thank you. I saw that. I turned into Infowars.com, and whoever that guy was, he woke me up, and thank you.
Well, God bless you, Sean. I appreciate your call. Speaking of the Gibsons, I know the Gibsons, and I'm just going to leave it at that. And I never heard anything racial out of their mouths. And it became a self-fulfilling prophecy with what was done to his film, which did backfire. He made about $2 billion off of it. That became a self-fulfilling prophecy itself, and then he got mad at the cop, and there was an exchange there. But again, it shows how this is our religion is obsessing on race or religion, which then only makes it bigger, instead of how big corporate interests are robbing us. But I agree. Unless Rand Paul buys into the hype and the mind control that he's bad, which he isn't doing, and unless the public buys into the hype, this is only going to help him. All the media's got is hoaxes. I told Salon, I said, you're out of bullets. It's not working anymore. People don't buy your demonization. Just like with Ron Paul. They called him a racist and all that stuff, made up. Now he's their darling because they failed. Now he's a political force in America. But everything we're doing doesn't ride on Rand Paul regardless. It rides on the awakening that's happening and every incumbent being thrown out in the primary. It's already started in both parties. You know how scared the system is? People better be upset. We better take this country back. We better slash the size of government and get our Bill of Rights back. I mean, we're in trouble, folks. The banks have already stolen trillions and trillions of dollars. They've already bankrupted us. We've got to get control of the government and default on this debt, or it's only going to get worse. John in Texas, you're on the air.
Yeah, just real quick. This will only take a minute. The first point I want to make is that, and if Rand, you're listening out there, you can use this. Obama had a hot minute to get down to Louisiana and take care of business. Now, if Teddy Roosevelt was president right now, he'd be down there right now with a shovel covering those beaches to save the rest of Louisiana and the rest of our country, okay? Because we're under attack by corporations from England. And my next point is that the branding has changed. As of 2 days ago, Obama's speech at West Point, it is now the new international order.
Oh, no, he said we're a new international order, and he told the troops, you must fight climate change. And they're training the troops to take your farm, take your ranch, shut down your factory. The Pentagon's new job is fighting carbon dioxide that humans exhale.
Yep. And I have a quick question for you. I don't know if this is true or not, but is there just one chapel in the United Nations building? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, there's one New Age chapel in the building.
All right. Thank you, Alex.
I appreciate your call. I appreciate you, John. In fact, we've got the new international order speech at West Point, don't we? We'll play that coming out of the next break. All right, let's move quick here. Truth Patriot in New Jersey, you're on the air.
Alex, how's it going, buddy? You're the man. All right, I called in last week, and the idea that I put out there has kind of gone viral on Facebook. The idea was to kind of have a bank run, stop paying our mortgages and our credit cards, and take our license plates off of our cars on the 4th of July, 2012. And just so many people have been adding this page to their Facebook. you know, I don't want to throw a plug out there.
No, it's fine, but people have heard it a lot. Write an article, send it to writers@infowars.com. We'll get it up, okay? Let's go to Eddie in New Hampshire. Eddie, you're on the air.
Hi, Alex.
Hey, buddy.
Brief. Hi. I just had I want to ask you about an article you have up on the Prison Planet website. It's where between now and, I believe, August, the U.S. plans on sending 4 to 5 more aircraft carriers, as well as other warships, to the Persian Gulf. Now, I would think that if you're going to send that sort of firepower to a region, the plan is on using it.
Yeah, for those that don't know, they've got 4 aircraft carriers now in the Gulf. They've moved bunker busters and nukes into Diego Garcia and out there off the coast of Africa. And they are really, Israel's openly talking about striking Iran with nukes. And most analysts believe this could, in fact, there's a probability, start a potential World War III between Russia and China and the U.S. And what it just came out, got declassified last week, that the U.S. considered a joint strike with Russia in the 60s against China.